FNaF World has over 40 playable characters that you encounter throughout the game, and as you progress, you unlock stronger characters and more powerful moves. But what if I didn't like all these characters? The only real cool one is Freddy. Wait, why don't we only use Freddy? We are answering the question if you could beat the entirety of FNaF World with only Freddys. And as soon as we start off, we're faced with our first problem. Usually in FNaF World, you start with a party of 8 characters to use, but we only have 2, Original Freddy and Toy Freddy, also known as the literal worst character in the game. See, Freddy had the ability Mic Toss, Pizza Wheel, and Birthday. Mic Toss happened to be the worst move in the game. Pizza Wheel did a decent amount of damage, and Birthday raised his stats. Toy Freddy, however, didn't have that. He had Mic Toss, okay Mic Toss, and Birthday, except it only does one of the stats. Oh yeah, the worst stat in the game too. The fact that Toy Freddy was put together with literally the 3 worst moves in the game still astounds me. But these are the characters that I had, so I had to start somewhere. So to start off, I grinded for levels in the starting area so I wouldn't die instantly to every enemy. Oh my god, that does so much damage. Okay. Okay. Nice. After grinding for around 20 minutes, I used the remaining credits that I had to go fishing. See, every once in a while, JJ will show up and let you fish for a chance to get money. Fishing allows you to pay 10 coins and have the chance to get 100. And seeing we'd need as many upgrades as possible, this was very useful, especially in the early game. Oh, nice. After fishing for a while, I went back to grinding. And after grinding for a couple minutes, I had my first character encounter. Okay. Oh my god, there's no way. Freddy first try. Please, 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 please. No, 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 no. Every time we die, we get more money. And that's fine by me. And then Phantom Freddy. Okay. Oh, again, sweet. I don't know what the chances of getting different characters are, but I'm pretty sure you don't get them every single time. Easy as. Yes. I was then able to move on to dusting fields. Now the biggest problem that I had now, we weren't able to encounter any more Freddys until at least Lily Gear Lake, which meant that we were stuck with still less than half a party to defeat several bosses before we could even get up to there. Luckily, the first Freddy that you encounter in this game is Phantom Freddy, whose entire moveset is debuffs, meaning that we can half the damage that enemies deal, we can double our attack damage, or we can increase our speed. I still had to run for most of the fights since my only damage dealers were Freddy and Toy Freddy, so I mainly waited until DD respawned, went fishing, and bought more upgrades. Yay, another one. So useful. After getting a number of useless characters that I couldn't use, I was finally able to take on the first boss. The first boss was a snowman named Bouncer. His snowball attack gets you down to low health, and then his standard attacks can just take you out one by one when you're low enough. So obviously the first time I tried this, I got absolutely smoked. Luckily, the second time I tried it, I was playing around using Phantom Freddy a lot better, and lowering his attack and defense stat definitely made the fight a lot easier, meaning I was able to beat the entirety of the Bouncer fight with all 3 characters still alive. Yes, even Toy Freddy. Yeah. Damn, with Freddy's you actually got to use like strategy instead of just unscrewing everything. That sucks. This meant we were now able to move on to Lily Gear Lake, or go straight to Black Tomb Yard. There was 4 different Freddys we could encounter in these 2 areas, but the most important one was Golden Freddy, whose moveset would allow us to defeat a very difficult boss later on. But he wasn't super important for 2 reasons. Number 1, there were better Freddys that we could use for the time being. And number 2, I couldn't even find him. I spent like an hour in Lily Gear Lake and I did not encounter him once. Now this was a major problem because I only had 3 party members still. Luckily in Lily Gear Lake there is a little shortcut that allows you to go to Pinwheel Circus early, one of the later areas. It also allows you to get the most powerful bites in the game, which deal insane damage. Please just give me Golden Freddy. Okay. Oh! Shadow Freddy. I now have access to insta-kill. Oh, damn. Yes! Shadow Freddy! We now have access to insta-kills. This makes this challenge ridiculously more possible. Luckily in Black Tomb Yard, we can encounter both Nightmare Freddy and Withered Freddy, meaning that we finally have a team of more than 4, and a bonus to that, we don't have to use Toy Freddy anymore. Go away. Oh? No. I mean, do these count as a Freddy? One of them's like sort of a Freddy person, so like I don't know if they're like. Oh, I had Nightmare Freddy this entire time. I should probably use him. He's like the strongest Freddy we have, and then Shadow Freddy on our team for panic. Please. Oh, okay. I swear to God, I'm never gonna get Golden Freddy. It doesn't even exist. Oh my God! What the hell? Okay. Oh my Lord! What is this guy made of? Oh, what? I just hit him with everything, and that barely killed him. What the hell? We could also now head into Deep Metal Mine, which was the next area, which had a lull bit that sold the boss drain chip, a chip that we definitely need to progress, and it had an endo boss fight, which had a useful chip behind it. Beating this fight would give us the Find Characters chip, which would make finding Golden Freddy easier. The most annoying part about this part of the game is that Lily Gear Lake doesn't really give you anything except the ability to kill an optional boss, which I didn't really want to do yet, and had an important boss that you had to defeat later on in the game. Black Tomb Yard also didn't have anything that I needed apart from the obvious Find Characters chip and the shortcut to Pinwheel Circus. Since there wasn't really anything else I could do, I headed straight to Pinwheel Circus. This is where we'd be able to unlock most of the characters. The actual area where all the characters are located is called the Pinwheel Funhouse, which unfortunately was locked behind one last mini-boss, Brow Boy. This should be possible. I may be severely underleveled for this. Okay, I'm being destroyed by an eyebrow wiggling child. I know exactly what to do now. Fishing. 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 Wait, I can't be dying to these guys! Since we didn't have the ideal character roster for these fights, it was finally time to start getting red chips. You obtain red chips via secret areas around the map, and each of them gives you an incredibly strong buff, though most of the time they are guarded by some strong enemies or a mini-boss. If I remember, the first one... Okay, these are glitched objects, allowing you to go over the map without any collisions and get some of the hidden chips. The first one being in the first area of the game. Okay, these guys are really strong. Okay. Oh no. Easy! As long as we don't run into any more. Okay, that's the first chip that we have. The next chip was locked behind the bouncer fight from the beginning, and straight up we do so much more damage so this fight isn't even hard in any way. Now we can go through another glitch object, walk around for a little bit, and get that block unscrewed. The most useless one that we're not actually going to use, but I forgot which one was which. Then, in Black Tomb Yard, another glitch object, and we can get the Auto Mimic chip, meaning that every move that we do is doubled. Incredibly overpowered. In Deep Middle Mine, we have to fight a mad endo boss, which isn't really that hard, to get the Freddy Fury chip, which does constant damage as the fight goes on. Now that we have these chips, the fight should be theoretically way easier. Okay, Brow Boy time. Okay. Ooh, we can tank these. Nice. God, there's so many things going on. Oh yeah, this is easy now. Yes, okay. Now we had access to Pinwheel Funhouse. We could finally start grinding characters. More importantly, we had 3 new Freddys we could get here. Nightmare Fredbear, Nightmare, and Fredbear. Fredbear, however, has a 1 in 655 encounter rate, but it's something we'd have to worry about later. For now, we had to work on getting the other 2. And if he would bother showing up, Golden Freddy. So this is how I spent my next 30 minutes. Side note, I was playing on a modded version of FNaF World, which allowed me to have less than a full party. It also gave me this little button that allowed me to start battles rather than walking around for a couple seconds. I decided to head straight into the next boss, Bubba. Bubba was our next major boss fight. Beating him meant the rest of the game should be possible. Bubba! Okay. You get some defense lowers. Power, yep. We're just out healing him, wait. What? He can't do anything to us. We out heal Bubba. No, yep, we win without losing anyone. We can now talk to you. You can yap. And then we can go straight to Pork Patch. After beating Bubba, we could now unlock the checkpoint for Pork Patch. Killing Pork Patch gives us the next item needed to progress. And not only that... Oh my god! Finally! 3 areas after he was supposed to be first encountered, we finally had him. Give it up for Golden Freddy, everybody. It's so hard. I also ended up encountering Nightmare and Nightmare Fredbear. These guys did insane damage and are the only 2 viable endgame characters that are Freddys, apart from Fredbear. Realistically, you'd want someone with gift boxes at this point to keep your team alive, but no Freddys have that, which meant we were going to run into some trouble very soon. But again, it was another problem for later. Without anything else really to do, I decided to head straight into Pork Patch. Pork Patch time. Okay. This guy is supposed to be actually hard. Oh, okay. Yeah. But his health is going down incredibly fast. Oh? Oh, God. This is gonna be close. No. I still have these 2. We're under halfway. I mean, over. Ooh, he's one-tapping everything. Damn, okay. Oh, God. That was weirdly close, but strangely easy. Now that we've beaten Pork Patch, we can get the key. The key allowed us to fight the 5 different Guardians. Yes, more bosses. Yay. After we defeat these 5, we'd finally be able to take on Security Owl, the normal mode final boss and the hard mode second final boss. We can not only prove that you could beat FNaF World with just Freddy's, but also that this game is very free. I'm not even kidding. We had barely any road bumps throughout this entire challenge. I thought this would be a lot harder than it ended up being, but there was one major blockade that we were going to face soon. I did quickly get an auto gift boxes chip. Gift boxes is the move that revives your characters, but you can also get a chip that does it for free, meaning that you just get 2 lives at the start of every battle, which is a little bit overpowered if you ask me. Okay, it is time. Overclock is gonna die. Here we go. No, we have gift. Oh god, that's a lot. Please die. I don't have. Oh, we're not even close to halfway. No. No. You see, what I just did was I hit F2. F2 reloads every FNaF game made by Scott Cawthorne. Now, the reason I did this is because when you hit F2, it saves whatever fight you were last in, meaning I could load straight back into the overclock fight. Now, why didn't I just finish the fight normally? Because I didn't want to walk all the way back. Mal, he's dying. Goodbye. No, we're not going to be doing that. Please. Now let's reset. Okay, this one is definitely possible. This is really good. We got all of them still alive. Golden Freddy hanging in there. Okay, yeah, this is a lot better. Yeah, okay. Yes! Yes! Finally. Okay. That's one of the bosses down. Now we're gonna screw up. We're gonna mess up Supergoon. I don't know if the boss drones are better though. I don't think they are. Yeah, this one's easy. Okay, yeah, it's easy. Easy. Okay. Okay, I think it's snowman time then. I've done this in the wrong order. Yeah, this is easy, easy, easy. We can beat Pork Patch, we can beat these guys. Not even close. I hate to say it, but if we're doing a full Freddy run, even though we don't need it, in the spirit of the challenge, should we get Fredbear? So this is how I spent my next hour. Encountering a battle, running away immediately, and hoping Fredbear would appear. And I gotta say, around the 45-minute mark is when it started to feel hopeless. And I'm not even kidding when I say this. One last encounter before I logged off for the day. Oh, please, please. Yes! Oh my god. Oh my god. yes. Yeah, Fredbear. Ah. We have Fredbear. With that, we officially had every Freddy in FNaF World, including the second rarest character in the game. Now, it was finally time to defeat Security Owl. The first few times that I tried it, I wasn't really sure on what to do. Security Owl could one-shot every character we had. I even tried lowering his attack, increasing our defense, and having the shield up, meaning he would only be able to deal 12% of his usual damage, and he still one-hit KO everything. Paired with the fact that his alarm attack can kill 4 characters instantly meant that I didn't really have a chance of winning. That was until I discovered how exactly Golden Freddy works. Now, I'd never really understood how Golden Freddy's haunting works. You see, haunting freezes the enemy in place, preventing them from moving, but every time that I've used it, the enemy has still been able to move, so I just figured it was useless. But that was until I discovered the niche use of haunting. You see, haunting does prevent enemies from moving, but it prevents them from doing their physical attack. Every enemy has this little bounce attack, which does a decent amount of damage, and then they have their special attacks, which are pretty much like our moves, but just for enemies. Now, Security Owl's one-hit KO was definitely something that I'd like to avoid, so using the haunting got rid of that problem. We still had the problem that Alarm would kill our entire team anyway. That was until I realized there's a reason you should never skip Fredbear's dialogue. Security Owl's alarm attack doesn't do any damage whatsoever as long as you have the shield active. It is a guaranteed miss every time it uses it. And since there wasn't any way to avoid his standard attacks, we needed a way to force him into using Alarm every single time. Which is where Haunting comes in, forcing him to use Alarm pretty much every single turn, meaning that we can take this usually difficult fight into the easiest boss in the entire game. I'm not even kidding. After failing multiple times, realizing what happened, and then trying this, I lost one character. It was no longer difficult. And with that, Security Owl was defeated and we only had one boss left. Here we are, the final boss fight of FNaF World. Unfortunately, this game is free. As you probably know by now if you've watched any FNaF World videos, there are a set of moves in the game which are insta-kills. This Scott boss is completely impossible without insta-kills, so I just sat there for 30 minutes until I insta-killed Scott. Yay! I did it! That was really anticlimactic end to the challenge. And just like that, we have beat the entirety of FNaF World with only Freddy's. This took way too long to edit, and I'll see you in the next one. Okay, bye.